03-248-0620, or the even easier route, go on over to youtube.com, type in Rip City Radio. You can find our station right there where we are live on YouTube. So you can join the chat as well. Have a little fun with me. I just realized it's on YouTube. I got to take my jacket off. I wore this the other day. I just grabbed it and walked out the door. See, this is what YouTube's for. Now, in Real Talk, though, we do got plenty to get to. Obviously, have to talk about the rough loss to the Mavericks on Wednesday and see if they can bounce back tonight. We're going to hear from Coach Billups a little bit later in the Coach's Corner, hear from his media availability today. We're also going to hear from Ant here, and in just a second, we're going to hear from Ibu Baji as well, who got his first start on Wednesday night playing the Mavs there just due to all sorts of injuries and whatnot. So going to have a talk with him, but order of business throughout the show here tonight, over the next hour or so, we have 5 pairs of tickets to give away for Monday Night Raw this Monday. That is January 8th at the Moda Center. Your chance to see, I think CM Punk is being billed for that one. Maybe you'll see Cody Rhodes is going to be there, I believe. We're going to see all the big dogs. Maybe even the big dog. Hey, if you're a WWE fan and you were watching Raw last week, Dwayne The Rock Johnson showed up in San Diego. Maybe someone big will show up in Portland. So if you're a wrestling fan, just be on the lookout. Basically, once you hear some WWE music, get ready to call 503-248-0620. Of course, I'll give you the heads up. Well, maybe we'll decide what number and whatnot once we get there, but there will be plenty of WWE tickets on the way, your chance to grab tonight before the show is over. All right, let's look at that game that did go down just a few nights ago in Dallas. Like I said, it was a rough one. Dallas jumped out to the 35-25 lead in the first quarter, and at that point, you're like, it's only a 10-point game. Maybe the Blazers will be able to bounce back here a little bit. It's okay. No. It did not, because in the second quarter, Dallas outscored the Blazers 43-22 and then held on to eventually grab the 126-97 victory over Portland. And in this one, it was all Luka Doncic once again. Going in this game, he averaged, something like it was, I think the numbers I did, it was 38 points, 10 assists, 8 rebounds. Well, he didn't get 8 rebounds in this one. Excuse me, he didn't get 8 rebounds. He had 6. Well, he didn't get 10 assists. He had 5. But he had 41 points that he poured in on 13-21 shooting. Kyrie Irving chipped in 29 as well. So when your two main dogs jump in and give you 70 points, you know it's going to be a nice night for the home team. On the Blazers side of things, they were led in scoring by the returning Shaedon Sharpe, who had 16 points off of the bench in his 22 minutes. And, of course, we'll hear from Chauncey Billups a little bit later. But interestingly enough, he's like, he didn't even play long enough to get up to his minutes restriction because the team was playing so bad. So we'll see what happens there. Tamani Kamara was on the floor as well. Like I said, Ibu Baji got his first start. Duop Reith finally came back, and he only played 6 minutes before he was ejected for a questionable, at best, flagrant 2. But this one was one of those games where, Ish Wainwright played 17 minutes. Chris Murray played 15 minutes. Skylar Mays logged almost 10. It was, like I said, it was a rough one. Anthony Simons came back after his 3 games he missed dealing with an illness. He had just 15 points in 27 minutes. Again, nothing about this game was good. So now it's on the Blazers to bounce back and come ready. Absolutely come ready. That's what you need to do. Come right out of the gate. Don't mess around. Play the ball that you know how to play, and at least stay close with this one. The tough part is Dallas has their number, right? This is game 4 of the season. In the 3 previous games, Dallas won all of them. So winning ball games against this Dallas team, not really the Blazers' cup of tea. It's tough. It's tough for them. It's also tough when you're dealing with injuries, minutes restrictions, foul trouble. As we talked about, you had to bounce around with Ibu Baji a little bit to see how he got in the lineup because he only played 15 minutes, but he did foul out with 6 personal fouls. Tamani Kamara had 6 personal fouls. So, yeah, it's just the little things like that. Can you shore it up, play a good game? I think so. I mean, every single night's not going to be a 39% from the floor night. a night where a team who's not a great three-point team proves it and shoots 32%, but not every single night's going to be like that. They're going to have the nights when the ball, finds the bottom of the net, and that's what they need to do. This was just not one of those nights. I think everybody played poor. I think everybody on Dallas' side played pretty good. Defensively, they were just making it hard for Portland to basically score anything. And then on the defensive side for Portland, they had no answer for that two-headed monster. I mean, Kyrie is one of, if not the best ball handlers of his generation, one of the best of all time, right? He can go get buckets whenever he wants to. Luka Doncic, we know what the heck he does. The conversation continues to go. Who's the MVP in this league right now? Is it Jokic? Might be after that shot he hit last night against Golden State. We'll talk about that a little more later. Is it Giannis? Is it Embiid? Is it SGA? I mean, for my money, I think Luka is the most valuable player in the league right now. I think he's playing better basketball than anybody. Now, if you want to argue someone else, any of those names that I just said, no, Burke, you're wrong. It's definitely SGA. I'll probably look you dead in the eye and go, okay, well, you make a compelling argument. Because there's a couple players in this league right now who are playing very, very good basketball. And Luka's one of them. He's one of them. So that's your key to the game tonight. Jumping the shark before we even get to it. Like, that's what you got to find a way to stop that, man. I said yesterday, look, if the other guys kill you, they kill you. But, sometimes Luka's going to get his. Well, I don't even know what I'm saying. Like, that's the conundrum that is Luka Doncic, man. Unreal. Does he have another 40 point performance in him tonight? Does he peel it back a little bit? Maybe throws the assist instead? I don't know. All I know is when he's on the floor, he's hard to stop. It's hard to stop. That's terrible. Shout out to the Fritz. He says the pregame radio broadcast is the best thing going for the Blazers. Oh, this is roped into that. It's all Blazers game day. All me, baby. All me. Bricks and Joysticks says, show me your Blazers, or some Blazer. That's Chad would be jumping on that. And, of course, people saying that wrestling is going to get the YouTube chat going because it always does. People get spicy, start talking about their Mount Rushmores and who's better than this person, who's better than that person. And like I said, that means you all know wrestling. So if you want to get in on this wrestling thing, have those phones at the ready because we're going to be giving away tickets throughout the show. Don't be a cheater, though. I'm going to give you the number so you have it, 503-248-0620. But you know how many times I sit back there and I'm like, all right, we're going to give away tickets. And like the phones just start lighting up. Oh, no, I didn't even say dial yet. So until I tell you to dial, don't be calling in. Michael Shacker will just pick it up and say, so, sorry, you're disqualified. Okay, he probably won't say that, but I'm just saying, patience, the tickets, they're coming. They're absolutely coming. Now, for the Blazers, outside of stopping Luka and the rest of those guys, man, like I said, you got to get going. You got to find a way to get going in this one. Yes, they scored 25 points, but that was to Dallas's 35. That's slow out the gate when I don't care how much you scored. You could score, to me, if you go score 40 in the first quarter, but the other team has 55, I don't know if you jumped out of the gate fast. Yeah, you scored a lot, but the other team still got a 15-point lead. I need you to score, and I need you to keep the game close. When you're already down by double digits, for this team, feels like a lot. Like 10 points feels like more than 10 points, right? You can't afford to do that. And then to be outscored by 21 in the second quarter, going into halftime down 30, like that's rough. You can't do that. You cannot put yourself behind the eight ball, right? If you're going to run a marathon, you don't wait till the rest of the pack gets to mile 8 before you decide to start running. Right? I just give them a little bit of head start. I'm pretty sure over the next 26 miles, I'm going to catch up. That's just not how it works. That's just not how it works. You cannot put yourself in that bad a situation. You start out at the game tied 0-0. And if at the end of the game, that was the closest you were all game, that was a rough game. Absolutely a rough game. Now, there's one person, though, in this lineup, guys, that I have said I cannot pick on, and that is Ibubaji. Ibubaji wasn't supposed to be here, right? He was the two-way guy. He is your depth center. He was your fourth string, fifth string guy, right? Think about this for a second on the depth chart of the Blazers. Going in, you had DeAndre Ayton. Robert Williams is your two until he gets hurt, right? Then you have question marks, quite honestly, probably slotting Jabari Walker in there just because he's been a small ball center all year long and a little bit last year as well, right? Duop Reith, who came out of nowhere, and now he's pretty much your second guy, but he was right there in that next tier lineup. Moses Brown, Ibubaji, right? That's how far down on this chart he was. And somehow, through injuries and different circumstances, here he was getting minutes, got his first real run just the other night. And now it's like, hey, not only is it just your only real run, we need you to start. And he gets his first start. And Brooke Olzendam and company caught up with him at Blazer practice yesterday. And I want to give this a listen real quick, because let me tell you what, you listen to this and you're going to come away loving Ibubaji.
Got the start the other night, like in the beginning of your journey. Could you have ever imagined it?
First of all, I thank God for that. I was happy. I was waiting for the moments, but like I didn't think that was going to come like so fast. But like I can't explain. I can't explain right now. I'm so happy and like proud of me, proud of my work. Yeah.
I know you said you can't explain it, but if you could try for me, hearing your name, I mean, what was that experience like?
I don't know how to explain that, but I'm about to try.
Okay.
I'm about to try. First, happy. Humble. Yeah. And like, I'm sure like my family and all of my friends, they're proud of me right now. So I have to keep going.
Yes. Did you speak to your family, and what did they think of it?
Every day. Every day. Yeah.
I know you're a very humble guy, but you also have this self-confidence as well. Where does that come from?
From my teammate, first of all. From my teammate. Because, like, I can say, like, they helped me a lot. Like, Jeremy Green, that guy helped me a lot. WAP, like, all my teammates and my trainer, Ike. I thank Ike for a lot, and Michael, all of the staff for Blazer. I thank all of y'all.
You have a lot in common with Ike. Can you tell us a little bit about your relationship?
Ike is like my brother. He's my trainer, but he's like my brother, because like we came from the like same side, Nigeria, Africa. We brother. Yeah.
How can you listen to that and not love that guy? So humble, so happy. I wish you could have seen the video. You can go look at it on the Trailblazers website there. That guy just has a smile to end all smiles. And it's funny because Brooke asks him the question and about what it was like to get the start, and yeah, he smiles and then kind of goes over it, and he's like, I just don't have words for it. And so like Brooke's like, okay, we'll start again. Let you think about it. So think about the words. And then asked him again, and he said again, and still kind of speechless, man. I think that's a guy who has worked his tail off, obviously. And like I said, going into this thing, I mean, he was your fifth string, sixth string center. He wasn't going to be in your lineup, man. He was going to be in the Child Center most of the nights, right? Playing for the Rip City remix. And here he is getting a start. And yes, he got the Noah Vonleh treatment. And if you're a Blazer fan, you know exactly what that means. That's like, yeah, you're a starter, but you didn't get the full complement of starter minutes, right? But that doesn't matter. To get a start at the NBA level is pretty incredible. And as Fritz points out in the chat, he's only missed 2 shots in his entire career. He's 5 for 7, people. Put some respect on it. Oh, look at that. Look at that. There's... Start the music in the middle. That's dumb. All right, that's WWE music. That means it's time to give away a pair of tickets to Monday Night Raw live at the Moda Center on Monday. And guess what? Winner of these tickets, you might be sitting close to me because I'm going to be there. So if so, come say hi. I think the Godfather might be there too. So right now, caller number 5 at 503-248-0620. Caller number 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 at 503-248-0620 will win a pair of tickets to WWE Monday Night Raw this Monday at the Moda Center. We're going to take a quick break while you light up those phone lines. When we come back, it's time for What's the Scoot? We're going to kind of analyze what Scoot Henderson has been doing here. And don't worry, if you're not the winner this go-around, we still have 4 more pairs of tickets to give out throughout this show. Chris Burkhardt here on your home of the Blazers, Rip City Radio 620. All right, welcome back in to Blazers Game Day. Chris Burkhardt here, getting you ready for this Blazers Mavericks game. And let me tell you what, shout out to a friend in the chat there, Bricks and Joysticks, if that is your real name. Michael Shacker has it now on record, by the way. Watching on the YouTube chat, called in. He was caller number 5. He is the winner of the tickets. So congratulations. You might run into the Godfather and I on Monday, and if so, say hi, because love to meet some of our YouTube listeners and radio listeners. Absolutely, I've said it before. If you ever see me out in public, say hi. I had a guy one time at a Beaver game just took a picture of me, and then he's like, "Oh, you look too busy." I'm like, "I'm not too busy. Come say hi. It's better than just trying to like peek around the corner and paparazzi picture. I'll take a real one. You don't have to get it all fuzzy and all that. Come on now. So come say hi, and big congrats there to Bricks and Joysticks, which is also an objectively good YouTube name. It makes me want to go like play one of the Lego Batman games or something. Yeah, exactly. Kirk says, who needs the wrestling? We could just go meet Chad, Chris, and the Godfather. I don't know. We'll see if Chad's going to be there. See if he's the wrestling type. All right, now it is time for What's the Scoot, as you heard in the intro. And Scoot Henderson has been playing very, very well. We talked about this yesterday, about how, hey, things are finally looking up. In games he starts, he's averaging almost 20 points. He's getting his 7 assists, and it's going to be really nice. I don't know if they can relegate him back to the bench because he's been playing so well. Ant's coming back. I want him to start next to Anthony Simons. That's what I want. I want to see how they work together. And they did. That's who started. It was Scoot and Ant starting the game against the Mavericks. And unfortunately, it was a pretty bad game, scoring-wise at least, for Scoot Henderson. 2 of 11 from the floor, 1 of 4 from 3, 2 of 4 from the free throw line. He had just 7 points. That's bad. That's bad. The good part is, though, is nobody on the team really had a good game, right? So it's hard to look at one player who has high expectations and say, oh, he had a really bad game. Here's the downfall. It's the worst thing ever. Like everybody on that floor, except maybe if you want to count Shaedon Sharpe, had a pretty bad game, right? And the good I also think in this is, yes, the shot wasn't falling, wasn't for anybody, but he did lead the team with 7 assists. 7 of the team's 23 assists. That's almost a full third of the team's assists right there. So that's a pretty good number. Also, though, with that does come the fact that he had 6 turnovers. Turnover number still pretty high. And I think that as he continues to figure out how the windows look in the NBA, because I think that's a big gap right now, is just, he going in the lane and everybody can play defense. Even the bad defenders make it hard for him, right? And he's learning that floater. Like I said the other night, like he comes in and he kind of hitches before he throws that little floater. And once he gets to the point where he just trusts himself, I think he'll start hitting that. And then same thing with the passes. Like the windows close so much faster at this level than they had at any level he's ever played. Even the G League, the windows, they're there and then they're not, right? And so once he finds that balance of when to make those passes, how to make those passes, I think you'll start to see that turnover number just fall just a little bit. But also at this point, do it. Like if you're going to turn the ball over, it's okay. Make those mistakes as you continue to learn. Like the 7 assist number is good. And I think that's something he's definitely going to continue to build on moving forward. And I mean, that's Scoot, though. That is What's the Scoot. That's what he is right now. He is learning on the fly how to play this thing. And he's done it over the last handful of games with Malcolm Brogdon next to him. Then he had to do it last night with Anthony Simons next to him. And hopefully he gets to do it again tonight, and we'll see if he's in the starting lineup again. He should be. I have full faith he'll have a bounce-back game. It won't be a 7-point performance. He is getting better. He is getting better. It's just not as quickly as people would want. And the crazy part is just like the instant gratification people want from a third round or a third overall pick. If you go look at like the rookie numbers, like Scoot's not bad. He's not bad at all. I think he's 5th overall in scoring among rookies, number 1 among rookies in assists. Like there's good numbers there. It takes all these rookies a minute to kind of acclimate and get where they're going. I mean, even Victor Wembanyama, he's starting to play pretty well right now. But there was a time there where they're kind of deciding, is he a center or a power forward? And he's playing more power forward minutes, but it wasn't what he was used to, because it's just a little bit different than the Euroball he's playing. Now he's getting to play a lot more center, which is more of what he's used to when he played Euroball, and he's having great games. That game against Milwaukee, that was just last night. That was incredible. That was incredible. I mean, the block he had on Giannis, the three-pointers, also leadership, man. Leadership. I love the fact that Jones missed that corner three, and the Wemby walks over. Wemby was the one that passed him the ball. Walks over and just, dude, keep your head up. Like that, it's all good. So I love Wemby. But even him took a minute. He's a unicorn too, and it took him, he had to figure out a few things, and he's getting better. Chet Holmgren, right? He sat out an entire year. He's playing really well, but he still has those little bumps. And I think Scoots are a little bit harder just because he's been thrown the point guard position. He has to steer the Ferrari. Like that's tough to do. It's tough to do. I think he's going to be fine, though. Again, when you look at his numbers compared to other rookies, which is who you have to compare him to, don't compare him to Damian Lillard, a multi-time All-Star and a vet for a decade. Don't watch him tonight and compare him to Kyrie. Like, compare him to the guys that are his age doing what he's being asked to do. And if you do that, I think you realize that, I think he's shown flashes that he can be special. And I am very eager to watch him continue to grow as a point guard for this team. I definitely think they're onto something there. Definitely do. The other guard on the team, though, that they are not worried about, so to speak, but is there getting those minutes, dealing with Scoot as well. Anthony Simons, now he missed some time with an injury most of the season, right, after injuring that in the first game. And then, of course, was sick for the last 3, but he's back in the lineup, and he talked to the media at practice yesterday as well.
Anthony, obviously your first game back. Overall, how did you feel?
I felt pretty good. Just getting used to, playing the game. That was really much it. I thought I was going to be tired than I was, but I felt pretty good. Like I said, just getting the rhythm of just playing basketball again. That's one thing I had to get used to.
After a tough loss like you guys just had, what's the key to bouncing back against the same team?
Just focus on getting our lick back. That was pretty much it. You know what I mean? They punched us in the mouth the first game, and that should be, plenty of motivation to go on the second game and be able to go out there and compete and try to get a win.
I know Coach had planned for a film session. Instead, you guys had a practice. How did it go, and why do you think that was?
I think it was productive. We just need to get in the gym, play a little bit, blow off a little steam, just from the game yesterday and how it went, and it felt good. You know what I mean? I came in here kind of mad a little bit, and my team was able to get the win today, so I came out a little bit more happier than when I came in. So. We're just going to try to carry that same energy tomorrow.
It felt as though Coach is kind of trying to motivate you guys, and you as a leader of this team, how can you motivate them as well?
Just let them know what it is. You know what I mean? The NBA is not easy. Every night it's going to be a tough task. We got a tough task tomorrow again with Luka and Kyrie, who had great games against us, and every night it's going to come at you. A new great player, and we got to be able to take on that challenge each and every night, and that's what all the good teams and the great players do. They go out there and compete and try to impose their will on the game each and every night, and so that's why these young guys, starting to learn and understand that you got to bring it every night in order for us to be successful. We got to be consistent in how we approach the game.
We're seeing this year more so playing the same team in the same city twice, and after a loss like that, what is the added extra motivation, and do you guys want to prove yourselves? Yeah,
for sure. I think. We played this is about to be our 4th game playing against them. You know what I mean? So, you start when you see these teams a lot, like especially in consistently, like you start to not really hate them, but like you just tired of seeing them. So like it's a little bit extra motivating to be like, all right, let's get them this time, because like I'm tired of playing them. We haven't beat them yet, so like, this is our last chance to get a win. You know what I mean? Get out of here at least happy. You know what I mean? So. For sure, it's going to be extra motivation tomorrow.
And in last game, obviously, Luka Luka had a nice offensive night. How would you like to slow him down tomorrow?
That's a question the whole league asks. But I think two been doing a great job on him. Other than the fouls. But if he's able to stay out of foul trouble and we continue to keep that matchup, I think I like that matchup as well. Just in general of just having a body in front of him and slowing him down a little bit and kind of aggravating him, and that's what two does. So as long as we can keep him out of foul trouble, I think we'll be fine with Luka.
There you go. He thinks they'll be fine with Luka if they can keep guys like Tamani out of foul trouble, and he has been a breath of fresh air when it comes to his defense specifically. All right, there's another entrance song. Bonus points for anyone who can tell me who it is. This one comes at the request of Michael Shacker. 10 out of 10, though. I'll give you that. That means, though, it is time for another pair of WWE tickets. And you know what? Scoot was the third overall pick. So caller number 3 at 503-248-0620, you will win a pair of tickets to Monday Night Raw this Monday live at the Moda Center. That is caller number 3, the Scoot Henderson pick, 503-248-0620, and you will win a pair of tickets to WWE Monday Night Raw. All right, we're going to take another break here on Game Day. When we come back, we're going to head to the Coach's Corner. We're going to hear what Chauncey Billups had to say at his media availability and continue to get you ready for this Blazers Mavericks matchup down in Dallas. Chris Burkhardt here on Rip City Radio, your home of the Portland Trail Blazers. Welcome back into Blazers Game Day, and it is time now for the Coach's Corner. So we're going to head back down to Dallas, where Coach Billups talked to the media yesterday.
How did you decide to have a full practice today? Well, whatever practice you had.
Yeah, it wasn't a full practice because we got too many games. But I just felt like, after I went home, watched the game again, and with this, it was just not enough resistance for me. And sometimes you got to get out here and practice, and you got to compete, and you got to challenge each other, and you got to. It just is what it is. That's the only way out of it. Sometimes. I looked at my guys and said, we got down 38 in the game, and I didn't see nobody mad. I'm not, that ain't me. And so I wanted to, even if it's that they got to be mad at me to compete, we're going to compete. So we had a good day. It was fun.
So they responded well to that?
They did. I thought they did. They came out. And I think for them, they probably feel good just coming into the gym and getting a sweat and bumping and grinding a little bit against each other and just some sheer good competition.
Any update on Jabari?
Nah, he's just kind of day-to-day. He was sore, just really sore, but obviously he wasn't able to practice today.
Where do you think the fight went? Is it just a situation where it's hard to maintain that for 82 games? You're just going to have some lows?
You have some lows in this league, and I think what I've seen it's funny, when we get close to our normal roster, roles start changing, and now guys are thinking a little bit too much about minutes and shots and rotation, and we thinking about the wrong thing. Just go compete, and it figures itself out, So that, and then, it was tough to get any kind of rhythm last night, when they shoot 17 free throws in the first quarter. You can never really get any kind of rhythm. Everybody's in foul trouble. So it was kind of an anomaly like that. But in fairness, that's kind of what Dallas and Luka do to you. He's just that gifted, and then Kyrie too. So it was just a weird night for us, but I wanted to just kind of just shake this. We just thinking too much. There's nothing to think about. Go compete. It'll figure itself out.
Will the minutes restrictions ease up on Shaden and Ant?
Yeah, I'm not sure, but I think so. That all went well for them yesterday, and the truth of the matter is we played so poorly that they didn't even get to their number. You know what I mean? So I think they'll be fine.
As a point guard, back when you played, you obviously kind of are a leader of your team. Do you kind of channel that motivation now as a coach?
Yeah, I try to. I mean, that's kind of been my thing. It's really not much of a difference other than, it's just a different title. You're just still leading. I'm still leading man. I'm still like that teammate type person. So it's almost, it helped me to be the player and leader that I was when I stepped into coaching.
Since the league went to these baseball series of 2 games, I've always felt like it helps the road team to settle into a city. The second game should help you. What do you think coaching in these 2-game series?
I think it's pretty cool, to be honest with you. You do get to kind of settle in a little bit, and you get to kind of game plan versus what happened in the first game. You get to see them right away again and think about what you maybe can possibly do the next game differently on both ends of the floor. So I think it's pretty cool. I like that, it's a day in between, it's not that back-to-back. So I like it.
Would you like to see more?
I wouldn't mind. It's pretty cool to me, and it cuts down the travel, especially anything to cut down travel coming from Portland, bro. I'm all for it.
Yeah, he's not kidding. The travel to and from Portland is insanity when you're nonstop going across the country and jumping back and forth. I had one of my memories on social media pop up about this time 4 years ago or whatever it was. I remember there was a road trip, and we went from Portland, and I think it started in D.C. and then went down to Miami, and it was like 40 degrees in D.C. It was like 75 in Miami, and then the next game was in Toronto, where it was like 20 and snowing, and then the next game was in Minnesota, where it was below 0. I love the road trips where you got to pack like your entire wardrobe just to survive, because you're going to hit the highs and the lows of the temperature scale. It can get quite crazy. Quite crazy. Also, shout out to this whole YouTube platform because Michael Shacker back there has been keeping me on the screen during the commercial breaks where he's answering the phones. He's multitasking, right? So I'm just waving at the camera to let you go that I'm aware that the camera's on me. And my wife texted me and said, "Hey, you're still on camera, and your daughter's waving at the camera." My little 1-year-old was waving at the camera. So hi, Tegan. Dad says hi. And also, shout out to the YouTube chat where we're talking retro video games during commercial breaks, having a lot of fun over there with the Fritz and Bricks and Joysticks, who is a winner of one of our pairs of WWE tickets already. So shout out. Go to youtube.com/Rip City Radio and join the conversation. All you got to do is like, share, and subscribe, and you'll be ready every single time we go live and are ready to roll. And speaking of WWE, let's hit another theme song, shall we? One that Justin Myers thinks is the greatest of all time. Welcome back into Blazers Game Day, and it is now time for a scoreboard report. And the Blazers got an early game today, so no games have tipped off, but we do have a full slate of action that we can get you ready for. So here's what you can anticipate tonight if you're a basketball head like you all are. First off, tipping off in about 10 minutes, you got the Utah Jazz at the Boston Celtics. Atlanta playing at Indiana. At 4:30, the Thunder take on the Brooklyn Nets in Brooklyn. At 4:30 as well, the Wizards are taking on the Cavs. The Knicks are at Philadelphia at that same time. At 5 o'clock, Charlotte is on the road in Chicago. Minnesota is on the road in Houston. The Clippers are on the road in New Orleans. At 6 o'clock, you got the Magic taking on the Nuggets in Denver. The Heat in Phoenix to take on the Suns in the battle of two flaming basketball logos. At 7 o'clock, the Detroit Pistons are in the Bay to take on the Golden State Warriors. The Grizzlies are in Los Angeles to take on the Lakers. And the Toronto Raptors are in Sacramento taking on the Kings. And, of course, at 5:30, your Portland Trail Blazers taking on the Dallas Mavericks. And you can listen to it live right here on Rip City Radio 620. Chris Burkhardt here, filling in for the boss man, Chad Doing. You can follow me on Twitter at Chris J. Burkhardt. Chad will be with you at 4:30. He's filling in for Mike Lynch today, going to get you ready for the Blazers game with the Blazers pregame show. And, of course, you want to get in on the chat, go on to youtube.com, type in Rip City Radio, and join us there. Like, share, subscribe, do the like. And, you can join the conversation there. You can talk about wrestling. You could talk about retro video games, which we've been doing. Shout out Bricks and Joysticks, who is listening to the show and won a pair of WWE tickets and then told us that Bricks and Joysticks is the name of his retro video game shop in Albany. So, I know where I'm going next time I have to take a drive down I-5. I'm going to stop in Albany right after I make a stop in Salem to get some In-N-Out, so I have the energy to stop by Bricks and Joysticks. You had me at retro games, my man. I'm video games. They are the best. You know, how many of you guys who do play video games sit here and watch the Blazers all night, and then the Blazers get done? You're like, you know what? I'm going to go play some NBA 2K, where I'm the 10-time defending NBA champion Portland Trail Blazers, or what have you. All right, but do that. We'll have a little bit of fun. And, of course, 503-248-0620 is your phone number. If you want to call in, especially during the fifth quarter, our little call-in show. And keep that number handy because we still got a couple pairs of WWE tickets to give away before the show is done as well. Now, some interesting stuff going on around the NBA, right? Now, there are interesting reports as the trade deadline starts to loom ever closer. An all-star break is coming. Now, I gave you the rundown for the scoreboard, right? And tonight, Toronto is playing in Sacramento. And the latest coming across the wire from Shams is that the Kings may be emerging as a front runner for Pascal Siakam. And the Raptors are much more inclined at this moment to trade them than they ever have been. They already got rid of OG Anunoby, right? Which is interesting because, I mean, if Portland was offering even Anthony Simons, maybe I think that's probably a better get than Quickly and RJ Barrett, because I really like Simons. But this time last year, Toronto was 100% unwilling to part with them, right? You had the rumors that Memphis offered every single first-round pick they had and then one first-round pick from like every other team. It was going to be a haul, basically. Yes, I know that's a lie, but you get what I'm saying. And the Raptors were like, nope, not going to do it. He's not moving. He's not moving at all. Yeah, the Blazers throwing offers up. Nope, he's not moving. And we're not moving OG. We're not moving Pascal. Flash forward a year later, OG is now a New York Knick, and it feels like Toronto might be willing to move on from Pascal Siakam. And the Sacramento Kings could be a front runner for his services, which I think would be pretty nasty. I like Pascal Siakam. I think you put him next to Sabonis and give them a little 1-2 punch at the big position, paired with De'Aaron Fox. Yeah, it's not bad. That's how a team who is, trying to make the playoffs again after what was a incredible streak of bad luck of not making it almost 2 decades. Nope, not now. They're on the cusp. They're trying to get in, and now they're rumored to be in play for Pascal Siakam. And why would Toronto be willing to move all of its stars now? That's because even with them right now, they sit at 14-20 in 12th place in the East. And why would the Kings want to get in on the conversation? Because they're in 5th right now in the West at 20-13, having a very good season, all things considered. And so, yeah, that's your rumor mill right there. And, of course, the rumor mill is only going to continue to heat up because you saw the reports, and I saw Blazer Twitter immediately start to freak out when the reports were coming out today that Jonathan Kuminga in Golden State is unhappy with the way he's being used. He had, 16 points in 18 minutes last night, then didn't play the entire fourth quarter in a game that the Warriors blew an 18-point lead in the final 6 minutes to lose to the Denver Nuggets in an absolutely incredible half-court bank shot from Nikola Jokic. He wasn't even used at all when he was having an efficient game. He might want out. I mean, that might be the type of young, high-ceiling guy that Portland wants to get in on, right? Now, I know he's had his ups and downs. That's part of the reason he can be in and out of the lineup and is used in different ways. But he has a high ceiling. It's just a matter of finding that groove and getting where you need to go. So where does Portland fit in with him? That's an interesting call. Moses Moody was another one that came out, kind of said the same thing. So with the names starting to show that, you know what, I'm getting just a little bit disgruntled, and teams saying, yeah, those guys that we were never going to trade, they're on the block now. The trade deadline, which is, a month away. Let's get the official date on that. It's heating up. It is heating up. And, yeah, it's going to be a fun one because I think there's going to be some trades going down, and I think some of them might involve your Portland Trailblazers because you have guys like Malcolm Brogdon who are going to garner interest. You have guys like Jeremy Grant who are going to garner interest. I mean, probably untouchable, but you got guys like Shaden Sharp who are going to garner interest. Anthony Simons. We'll see what happens before the February 8th trade deadline, just over a month away. That's who's going to be the next big thing for Portland. Are they going to trade for someone to be that guy? Who is it going to be? I don't know. I know there is only one next big thing, though. Welcome back into Blazers Game Day. Chris Burkhardt here, filling in for the boss man Chad Doing today. He's going to have your Blazers pregame show here in about 28 minutes right here on your home Blazers River City Radio 620. And it is time now for your Coors Cold Hard Facts. And I'm going to say fact number one is buckle up, Blazers, because this road trip I think is going to be a rough one for your favorite team. They started this 7-game trip out 0-2 with a tough game against Phoenix, followed by a tough game against Dallas. They get Dallas again tonight, and then they end the road trip at Brooklyn, at New York, at Oklahoma City, at Minnesota. So they end the road trip with the two best teams in the Western Conference. Right there, sandwiched in the middle, they got a young, hungry, not terrible, but not great Brooklyn team. And then, of course, the New York Knicks, the new look New York Knicks with OG Anunoby. And they're sitting there, both those teams, respectively, the Knicks and the Nets, at 8th and 9th in the Eastern Conference. The Nets just 15-20, so they're a beatable team. But again, they have their moments where they play really well, as do the Knicks. The Knicks, of course, they're above 500. I think OG fits in very, very well with them, and I think they'll be better because of it. But that's a tough road trip, man. I mean, that's a tough road trip. You might be able to pick up one of those New York games. Maybe you look good tonight in your second game against Dallas after what happened in that first game. Either way, it's going to be rough. That's a tough 7-game road trip. Tough. I think most people probably would have looked at that early on in the season, like, okay, well, Oklahoma City, they're not great. Minnesota, yeah, that's it. No, not right now, because Minnesota and Oklahoma City are playing some incredible basketball. I mean, it's unreal what they're doing. I think a lot of people saw that Oklahoma City was going to be good, start to climb their way up, but no, they're playing some of the best basketball in the league right now. And the Minnesota has lost 2 in a row, but they're still good. They're 24-9, number 1 in the Western Conference, and right behind them, just a half game back, is the Denver Nuggets, who won that incredible game last night against the Golden State Warriors. Like I said, I think it was an 18-point lead with about 6 minutes left, and all of a sudden the Nuggets poured it on. Nikola Jokic hit that incredible bank shot to win the game, and then he was asked, who are you chasing? Everyone was chasing you. Who are you chasing? He's like, yeah, we're chasing the Denver Nuggets. We're chasing last year's team, trying to be better than them, and I think we could be better than them. So, yeah, they're playing hungry too. So, not what you like to see. You're sitting here out in the West. Now, I did ask on the YouTube chat, since this is a wrestling-themed show today, because we're giving away tickets to WWE Monday Night Raw. We do have one more pair to give away, and that will come at the end of this segment, so be ready for that. But I did ask if Blazer players had WWE-style finishers, what would they be? Now, I asked Kurt Angle this one time. He came into the studio at my old employer. I got a chance to interview him. I asked him what he thought Damian Lillard's finisher would be, and he looked at me like I was crazy because he didn't know who Dame was. Obviously didn't play basketball. So I explained Damian Lillard's game to him, and he said frog splash. Definitely feels like a frog splash type guy. Yeah, I think Duop Reith has like the last ride for The Undertaker, that power bomb, right? Ant seems like a super kick kind of guy. Shawn Michaels, sweet chin music type. Jabari Walker, he's beefed up. He's a little bigger now. He might have like an Olympic slam, like Kurt Angle. Tamani Kamara plays big, even in that air quotes smaller frame. So he probably like one of those small guys who has a finishing move that you would expect like one of the like 7 foot 500 pounders to have, like Ultimate Warrior gorilla press and then off the rope with the slam. Oh yeah, I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it. What is Shaden Sharp? Oh, Shaden Sharp's a good one. I don't know. He just might be, he might just be like a simple people's elbow kind of guy, right? The most electrifying move in sports entertainment to probably the most electrifying player on the roster when he wants to be. Scoot, everyone says Scoot's like Dame. He's got to have one off the top rope. I gave him a shooting star press, I mean, one of those big flips off the top. Slim in the YouTube chat says he's more of a 6'19" guy. Are you saying he's small like Rey Mysterio, or you just want to see him do a little 6'19" in the West Coast pop? That's right. We're going down the wrestling rabbit hole, even when the Godfather's not here. We're just having fun. And of course, that's because we're giving away a ton of tickets to WWE Monday Night Raw. And we'll give away another pair here before this segment is over. And if you want to get in on the chat and tell me what wrestling moves you think Blazers would have, what your favorite retro video game is, what you think the Blazers need to do to get a win tonight, who's the MVP, or any other comment, question, or concern you have, go on to youtube.com, type in Rip City Radio, and you can join the chat there. And, of course, the phone number, if you ever want to call in, 503-248-0620. Are there any other truths out there? Because that one truth is evident, and that is, like I said, this road trip is going to be rough. It's absolutely going to be rough. I think if you want to search for some other truths, though, I think one truth is enjoy the moment and just love what Ibu Baji's doing, right? Because there's going to be a moment, don't know how quick in the future that's going to be, when DeAndre Ayton is back in the lineup, when Duop doesn't foul out, doesn't get a flagrant and get kicked out, and Ibu Baji is back playing with the Rip City Remix, okay? And I think he is doing so well right now. Okay, I know that he's only 5 for 7 on his career. He's not scoring a lot. He's not, impacting the game a ton. But the fact that this guy comes through that NBA Africa program, which, if I do recall, was helped started by former Trailblazer Al-Farouq Aminu, and has worked his way so hard, right? Gets to the G League, gets that two-way deal, and you're like, okay, well, you're going to get a lot of your time, obviously, down with the Remix at the Child Center, doing your thing. You might come up if we need you, and then, oh, look, we need you. We need you. And then he goes and he gets a start against Luka Doncic and the Dallas Mavericks, right? And he only plays 15 minutes. Like I said, this is the Noah Vonleh treatment, right? When Noah Vonleh was the team's starting power forward, but he's only playing 14 minutes a night. But the fact that he's even out there living his dream, man, and we played the audio from him earlier in the show, like, how can you not just root for this dude? He's incredibly likable. He's incredibly humble, and you just love it. Let's take a listen again, just in case you missed it. It's a short clip. It's only about a minute and a half. Just his reaction to getting that start and being at this level in the NBA. Oh, you got to turn it on.
First of all, I thank God for that. I was happy. I was waiting for the moments, but I didn't think that would come so fast. But I can't explain. I can't explain right now. I'm so happy and proud of me, proud of my work. Yeah.
I know you said you can't explain it, but if you could try for me, hearing your name, I mean, what was that experience like?
I don't know how to explain that, but I'm about to try.
Okay.
I'm about to try. First, happy. Humble. Yeah. And I'm sure my family and all of my friends, they're proud of me right now. So I have to keep going.
Yes. Did you speak to your family, and what did they think of it?
Every day. Every day. Yeah.
I know you're a very humble guy, but you also have this self-confidence as well. Where does that come from?
From my teammate, first of all. From my teammate. Because, I can say, they helped me a lot. Like Jeremy Green, that guy helped me a lot. WAP, all my teammates and my trainer, Ike. I thank Ike for a lot, and Michael, all of the staff for Blazer. I thank all of y'all.
You have a lot in common with Ike. Can you tell us a little bit about your relationship?
Ike is like my brother. He's my trainer, but he's like my brother because we came from the same side, Nigeria, Africa. We're brother. Yeah.
I just love listening to that, man. Just so humble, so excited. Did you call your family? Talk to him every day. Every day. He's just like a little kid in a candy shop, man. I love it. I love this. The dude just gets to go hoop, be a starter in the NBA, and that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. I still got plenty of of wrestling talk. See, they've meshed. Everyone's talking to their favorite wrestling games. Royal Rumble on the SNES, bricks and joysticks. Remember that WrestleMania one where they totally tried to mesh wrestling with the Mortal Kombat era of gaming, where at the Undertaker you could shoot ghouls out of your hand and hit people with tombstones? Come on. That one was pretty fun. The Royal Rumble ones are good. Yeah, the old arcade game, I used to waste many a quarter in that. That was a fun one. And then those SmackDown ones on the PlayStation, back when the stories were never ending and were good. Come on, 2K, help us out. But the reason we're talking wrestling is because we're giving away tickets today. Still plenty of tickets, so keep the phones at the ready because another giveaway will be coming up shortly. Even though we did play a little bit of music there by accident, I'm like, why is there music coming in under this Ibu Baji clip? And it's because I still had John Cena playing in the background. Shout out to the Rip City Radio YouTube where Shacker typed in John Cena sucks. I don't know what you're talking about. You can't see him. You can't see him. Yeah, any WWE game that had Doink the Clown, absolutely. But yeah, so that's another one truth, man. Is just enjoy watching Ibu Baji as much as he is enjoying being out there, kind of living his dream. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. And I think another truth, and it's not Blazer related, but you look at the NBA standings, man. And of course, the East is playing out exactly how we thought it would. Boston, Milwaukee, Philly. The West, not so much because everyone expected Denver to be in that conversation, and they are just a half game back of second place, game and a half out total. There is that right? No, math is wrong, but whatever, a half game back, and everyone expected them to be in, right? No one expected Minnesota and OKC, and I think they're for real. I absolutely think they're for real, but the truth is, until they're fully dethroned, man, I think Nikola Jokic and the Denver Nuggets are still the team to beat, especially that performance they had last night against Golden State. Yeah, they were down big, and then half of a quarter turned it on, erased a nearly 20-point deficit, gave the ball to their two-time MVP, who hucks it up from pretty darn near the bad shot spot from Damian Lillard, shot versus OKC, banks that bad boy in, and Denver wins. And then he said after the game, like, yeah, we're chasing us. We want to be better than we were last year. And I know it's Golden State, who is not what they have been in the past, but they're still Golden State, who can have crazy games anytime they want. And they were having a pretty good one in that one. I still think Denver is the team to beat in the West. Does Oklahoma City or Minnesota surprise the world and get out of the playoffs number one and go to the finals? Could happen. Do the Clippers put it together? They've actually been playing much better than we all thought they would with James Harden. They're winning ball games again. Sacramento gets Pascal Siakam. That changes everything, right? And, of course, I mean, even New Orleans there at sixth place, they're playing good ball. It's all about health for them. And then you got two teams that I think everyone thought were going to be really good who are struggling. They are we're almost a play-in, out of the play-in teams, right? Phoenix in ninth place and the Lakers in 10th. Those are two teams that might be buyers come trade deadline time. And you look at Phoenix, man, and you have Devin Booker, you have Bradley Beal, you have Kevin Durant, and you're ninth in the West. Something's not going right for you. Something's not going right for you. They got to figure that one out. I look at the West, and I see some good teams, and I see one team that I think is the cream of the crop, the elite. I think that's Denver. And then I think Oklahoma City and Minnesota are chomping on their heels, as are the Clippers. In the East, though, that Boston, Milwaukee, Philly trio, any one of those teams could realistically get out, man. That's a good trio. And then, of course, Miami is just doing Miami things, because why not? Why not? That's just what they do. All right, the YouTube chat, everyone's showing some love for Ibu Baji as well, which is pretty good. Like I said, that guy, man, he's loving the moment, living in it, which is pretty cool to see. All right, we have one more pair of WWE tickets to get away. And let's hit a theme music. I'm sure you all know this one. righty, it is now time for the keys to the game, and it's pretty simple. It is pretty simple. Whatever you did last game, don't do that. Don't do that. All right? That's pretty simple. That's my key. That's my key. And on-air producing, hey, Shacker, whenever we're a minute out, start playing that Seven Nation Army like usual. We're not going to go out with music or wrestling music this go around, all right? That's what you do. Sometimes you produce during the commercial. Sometimes you produce live, just so people know. You just seamlessly enter it into the show, though, just like we did there. Now, again, whatever you did last game, don't do that, okay? And one of those is don't get into foul trouble. That's going to be a big key in this one because the Blazers had 34 fouls against the Dallas Mavericks to just the 18 of Dallas. I mean, that's incredible. And those aren't even situations either where it was just like, it gets them to the foul line. Now, it did because Dallas had 41 free throw attempts, to Portland's 22. But some of them were just dumb fouls, and that's why you had Ibubaji get 6 fouls early. Tamani Kamara was only limited to 20 minutes because he fouled out. You had 4 fouls on Scoot Henderson, 4 fouls on Duop Reith in 6 minutes before a flagrant foul got him out, 4 fouls on Matisse Thybulle. I mean, you have to be smart with what you do on the defensive or offensive side of the ball because you can get offensive fouls as well, right? But if you put it in a situation where the other team takes almost 20 more free throw attempts than you, you're going to put yourself in a position to lose the ball game. You're just going to. It's just math, right? I mean, Dallas made 13 more shots at the line than Portland, right? You take those 13 points away, and it's still a bad loss, but that's a 16-point loss, right? Like, simple, right? Take care of that. Don't have stupid fouls. Secondarily, control the ball. You got to do that. This was one that came up in the YouTube comment section earlier. Turnovers are killing this team. They absolutely are. Portland in this game on Wednesday turned the ball over 22 times. And again, ball security for Dallas. Dallas turned the ball over just 11. You have got to take control of the ball, especially with the team who has 2 guys like Luka and Kyrie who have great court vision. So if you turn the ball over, they can get out in that fast break or quickly get into a half-court set and pick you apart. You can't give those possessions where your defense is flat-footed. You can't. Take care of the ball, mind the fouls. And then third, I think this one is simple, oversimplified. Someone's going to look at me and go, Burkhardt, that's a really stupid thing to say, but I'm saying it anyway. Take advantage. Make your shots. Portland shot less than 40% in that game. 32% from 3. Those are not good numbers, especially when you allow the other team to shoot 50%. Got to make your shots. All right, that music means it's time to go. Chad Dewing is waiting at Studio C to take over, get you ready for this game, and then tip off at 5:30 right here on Rip City Radio. Congratulations to our ticket winners. Hope to see you at Moda Center on Monday. Blazers, Mavs coming up in just an hour and a half. Then, of course, right back here, youtube.com, and on the radio station for the 5th quarter after the game. We'll see you in a little bit.